All right, what's cracking? What's cracking? What's cracking? What's cracking? You already know what's going on. If you're watching this, I really appreciate it, man. We're going right back into it, man. I was feeling like straight up shit earlier, and I'm kind of on the cusp of like trying to bounce back from that, man. So I'm trying to document that so y'all can just get in on it. And I really appreciate it, man. I was just eating like a fucking 5-year-old yesterday, and deciding not to sleep. And I knew that it was gonna fuck me up, but I did it anyway. And it's not the first time I've done it, certainly, and it's not gonna be the last. But it did make me think of decisions that I made as a kid, and sort of how I felt about them at the time, and how I'm probably just gonna keep doing that. Like I remember as a kid, I had like this little paintball gun that was like 4 kids, and it was just like a little spring loaded. You pull it back and it shoots once, and I would just put it right up to my ear and pull it, and it would make my ears ring, and I would just be like, "Yep, that's loud." And like at the time, my brain wasn't fully developed, so it kind of makes sense that I wouldn't stop to think like, "Is this a good idea?" But I remember having that feeling of just like I need to do this, even though it serves no real purpose. And what I did yesterday when it's kind of similar where it's like I don't know, man. It was weird because it was my day off, and I felt like, you know what, I deserve to just do nothing. And it's weird when you do nothing, and then afterwards you're like, man, I could have done something. Because on top of like eating like shit and then feeling like shit after, like I kind of felt like I just didn't do anything with the day, and it was like irking me the next morning, this morning, and it was just it really carried on. And even though I knew like something like that would happen, it was a real mental thing that I was going through where I was just like, man, I wish I did some shit. So I'm trying to do some shit right now, man. And I might just be trudging on as I spoke of before, but maybe sometimes you just got to do that, man. I made some food, and I feel like whenever I make food, it's never like I wish I was on some cool shit where like I can make like a neat ass dish and it looks all nice. But like really, like anytime I make something for myself, I feel like I'm just trying to accumulate enough sustenance to be able to just keep my body going. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like heating up vegetables, making rice, and just trying to make sure I don't die. But maybe I just got to put some effort into really trying to like make it kind of like a little craft type of shit. Sort of like what I'm doing with this, but it gets kind of hard because there's a lot more moving parts to fucking cooking. I feel, and there is a lot to this, man. Fucking, I feel like a lot of people think, man, I mean, you're just hopping out here and talking and shit, but dude, I had to set up this mic. I had to fucking fuck with the camera for a little bit, and just really just kind of get comfortable with just keeping the conversation going, man. It's a bit weirder than I thought, and as for cooking, it can get a little discouraging because there's been times where like I'm trying to just make some shit that's like really simple and I still fuck it up. I feel like everyone's kind of done something like that. Where you're like, how I fuck up this egg this bad? And yeah, I've been, but maybe I try to recognize when I'm doing better. When it comes to cooking. Uh, but yeah, man, I just wish you could just kind of just snap into like Gordon Ramsay mode. That would be awesome. But you could do that with a lot of other shit too, like fucking driving or fucking painting or playing an instrument. And it all comes down with just that's just life, man. Life is all just about trying to pick away at something. Like Squidward when he tries to sculpt that sculpture, and then SpongeBob comes in and he just fucking that thing. I love SpongeBob. If y'all know me, y'all know I love that shit. I was watching it earlier. I was watching the Bang Geeks episode. It's a good episode, but I realized that I forgot as a kid that the reason why they decided to go and actually like make an effort to perform well for Squidward after they like all got into a scuffle was because SpongeBob gave him this motivational speech. But in the speech, he was asking people like he asked Larry. He's like, Larry, who saved you when you were eating tanning pills? And who revived you? He asks. And Larry's like some guy in an ambulance. And SpongeBob's like, well, why can't we just pretend that Squidward is some guy in an ambulance? And I completely omitted that from my memory, man. And I was kind of like, huh. So you know what? That is to say, it goes back to revisit things that are important to you, because that Band Geeks episode was very important to me. As you all know, that includes the Sweet Victory track, an absolute banger, if I do say so myself. And you know what, man? When it comes to bangers, uh, I I feel like, man, music, it's very subject. Music is very subjective, and you're entitled to like whatever the fuck you like, man. And so, I got some shit that I really consider bangers that I know that if I'm playing around other people, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this bullshit?" But sometimes I do it anyway. You know what I mean? And it's real fun, cause it's like, there was a probably from like 2015 to like 2020. A lot of the music I was listening to was a lot more aggressive and like edgy and shit. And even some shit after that, but it was like, just real abrasive and like high energy and like I just want to fucking something. And it gets kind of annoying because in my Spotify, uh, and this is on me because this is how I choose to listen to music. Is I have my whole liked songs. It's like 2,000 something songs. It's not, some people have a lot of shit, and I just click shuffle on it. Unless I'm like doing something specific, like if I'm just like in the car and I just want something to start playing, I click that. But again, because a lot of that music is like that really abrasive shit, I'm not really in that like fuck the world mood as much anymore. So it kind of just it irks me. And I'm sure people have similar experiences where like there's music that you've been listening to for like fucking a decade, and you're just like, God damn it, like why can't the AI be smart enough to know that this isn't what I wanted to listen to? But I can't blame the AI for everything. Uh, and sometimes it's fun to just let Jesus take the wheel, so to speak, and have the AI take over. But you know it's interesting when I think back to when I just had like a little fake ass iPod with like 20 songs on it, and my whole thing was just listening to it straight front to back. I had some Metallica on there, had some fucking Rise Against, that type of shit, man. It was the 2000s, man. If y'all were there, you remember. But now I really gotta like try and think, and it's kind of hard because sometimes I don't want to listen to new music because what if I don't like it, and I'm afraid of wasting that time. So again, this is all on me, but it's like even if it's an artist that I like fucking the past month, I've been really into the Weekend album that came out in January, but it took me forever to actually fucking listen to it because I was just like, fuck, like okay, this is new music. I love the Weekend. I know I'm probably gonna like this. Everyone else fucking liked it, but it's just like fuck, like I'm gonna have to like process new information. That's scary. But it paid off in that case. And it's not as easy, even though it's shit that I like. That kind of irks me, man. But we're gonna keep going anyway. Been listening to the Bad Bunny album a lot, as is literally everyone else on the planet. Absolute bangers on that one. If you're really with it. And if you're like, yo, fuck Bad Bunny, he's out, he's overplayed, he's this or whatever, man. I feel like, I used to be a major hater of just like everything, and especially shit that was popular, like especially in my middle school days when I was at like peak angst, and just like anything that was popular, I was like, man, fuck this shit, just because I was being judgmental, man. So I would, that is to say, if you don't like Bad Bunny and you got some valid reasons for that, that's fair. But if you're just being a hater just to be a hater, man, I promise you it is not worth it. I think it's better to just like things, or just let people like things, man. Like, but occasionally, the hater within me does come out once again, and I just start shitting on everything. But there's a lot of shit that I really don't like Hamilton. If you like Hamilton, man, I don't understand that, but. Again, you're entitled to like it, man, but to me, it is just cringe. I don't use that word. Nah, I probably use that word a lot, but in this case, like, that is the epitome of cringe. Fucking Hamilton, bro. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't understand why that is as popular as it is, for sure. Because just to me, the idea of like, why would I want to listen to rap songs about American history type shit? And look, man, I haven't seen it in its entirety. I've heard just songs and seen clips, and I saw part of this documentary from behind the scenes, and I think Lin-Manuel Miranda's a fucking weirdo. But again, if you like it, man, it's alright. But that shit is cringe, man. What's not cringe? Freaking water. I love drinking water. I've been drinking too much fucking water, man. It's kind of crazy, because then, I feel like I haven't been able to drink other stuff as often because of it, because I just have so much goddamn liquid in my tummy that I'm like, fuck this. But I don't be drinking like I haven't drank soda in like many years now. You know, I'll have it like here and there, but you know, I feel like after the first sip, it's like, why the fuck am I drinking this? But you know, like some sweet tea or some lemonade here and there wouldn't be too bad. But I'm just busting constantly because I'm trying to drink a fucking gallon a day, and I have to pee every fucking 40 minutes, and it gets kind of annoying. But I feel like it kind of helps me out, like having as much water in me, because I was not drinking shit before, man. Like, it's kind of crazy to think there was like a fucking many years where I was just living off like Mountain Dew and just not drinking a droplet of water. And I'm like in like, you know, I'm in pretty good health. You know, I don't got no like ailments in me or nothing like that. Which is just surprising because of the fucking absolute abuse I put my body through with the decisions I make. And you know, you just gotta live with it, man. That's some shit, you know, like there's some shit that's just out of your control. You just gotta kind of like, you know, work your way around. But there's some shit that you could do that for sure will help you out. And eating a big bag of Cheetos is not one of them. Like, it feels real good in the moment, man. Like, to me, I feel like chips is like my cigarettes type shit, where it's just like, I know that this is not good for me. It's gonna make me feel like shit. But just in that singular moment where I'm crunching, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is, you know, that high fructose corn syrup is just surging through my veins. I'm like, this is great. And then immediately after, because it lasts so little, like for such a small amount of time, munching on a Cheeto, and you're just like, God damn it, you know, like having that feeling of like reaching the bottom of a bag of chips, and just like wanting more, but also thinking like, damn, like I really ate all this shit. And, like, it's fucking terrible, you know. Which is not to try to undermine people who struggle with like smoking cigarettes or nothing like that, but I've never smoked a cigarette, you know. I've heard the Juul for the meme, but you know, the smoking cigarettes just seems unappealing to me. And juuling is also isn't good. Like, me doing it, it was not like, I don't do it actively, but I was like, hey yo, fucking, like, just to fuck around, because Jules was like a spicy meme at the time, you know. But I would recommend not doing that. Yeah. But yeah, man, I like life. I like hanging out, you know. But honestly, man, like, I also don't like hanging out. Like, I feel like I've just spent a lot of time just doing like regular shit. That's like, yeah, you know, going out, having fun. I can go out with some friends, do something, and I'll look back and I'm like, that'll be cool. But the idea of just like saving the effort and just like chilling, it just seems so much more appealing. And it's like, I really don't have FOMO when it comes to a lot of shit, where it's like, oh yeah, you know, if they hung out and I didn't go, like, it's cool. Like, if I got to rest, then I am perfectly fine, you know. And am I gonna regret it one day? I don't think so, but maybe. But yeah, right now, like, man, I just like just doing my own thing and just not having to deal with other people. You know, like especially if you're like trying to coordinate like a big group of people, man, that shit is always a mess. Like unless you're the one like forerunning that shit, man, like that shit makes me just want to just throw up. That's how I was feeling earlier. Like, there was just like, it didn't feel like like, the only times I've thrown up in like the past like 5 years is usually from like having drinking or something like that. But like, you know when you just get that like feeling, just like, damn, I feel like shit. Like, I just wanna expel this fucking feeling from my body. That's what I was on earlier, for sure. But I took a nap. Fucking made that food, man, and it was all right. And now we're here. And yeah, man. I like Legos, but I have not even like touched one in like 10 years. But I wish I could. But that's an investment. Like, I like looking at people like building crazy shit and thinking that, like, you know what, I could do this, but this is like an investment. And money's a real shit. We was talking about money the other day, man. How like, if you could, like, having more money could afford you to do a lot of cooler shit, man. But would it be worth it? And you know what? Now that I think about it, I think Legos would be worth it, because Legos are just like so fun. Now that I'm thinking about them, Because part of it is just like that thrill of the build where like at first, you got all these pieces in front of you and you're like, fuck, like I want to make this fucking house look cool. And then as you slowly start going and going, you're amassing more and more pieces together, and you got less like scrap hanging around, and that's a fun feeling. And I don't know why that just struck me all of a sudden, but I wish Legos weren't so expensive. That is what I'm feeling right now, and I'm just trying to channel that. But yeah, hopefully one day I can get some and just feel free. I remember thinking like when I'm 40, I want to have like a model train set. Those always seem like dope to me. Like miniature shit. I think this ties in with the Legos, man, because it's like the idea of just having like just a little play something. That's always been really appealing to me. Like especially once you reach that like fucking hobbyist level where you got like a whole bunch of cool shit. That would be awesome to do, for sure. But I would need like the space and the resources. So we'll see if I eventually do that at 40. If I make it to 40. And that's not to say that I'm like on the bad path, but like, who the fuck knows? Uh yeah, don't drool, drink a lot of water. That's really that's not I'm not saying that's going to guarantee you to get you to 40, but it'll certainly help. Uh One of my favorite things to do is I'm not even gonna lie to you. I started that and then I just fucking blanked. I just fucking blanked on that, man. And that is a thing that I do a lot. If anyone has ever like spoken with me, I will like start saying something and then immediately just go like, what the fuck was I gonna talk about? And it's kind of unreasonable to assume that someone else is gonna just be able to read your mind, but that happens to me a lot. You know? Fucking I remember in school, I would never sit down in my chair ever. And teachers would kind of just accept it because I wasn't like a problem. Like I wasn't like yelling and shit, but I just hated the idea of just sitting down and just like having to absorb information because I would pick up stuff pretty easily, and I would do what I needed to do. Again, I wasn't like a troublemaker or nothing like that. So like teachers just kind of like, they would reach this point where they're like, all right, this kid's obviously not going to fucking sit in his seat, so whatever, you know? And shout out them for letting me do that, man, because I would just like, I don't know what it was, man. Something about having to sit there would bother me a lot. And I remember a bad habit actually was I would not sit down when I would eat food. Like I would fucking be eating food and then get up and then like walk around for no fucking reason. And that kind of like fucked me up. Like I don't do that now. I really try not to. Like I'm very conscious of it now because I was like making a point to stop. So if I do have to get up when I'm eating, I get really annoyed by it. But it was just like, why the fuck was I doing that? There's no reason for this. And I think I like to live life with reason. That would be kind of crazy. And one of the things this is gonna get. See, I want to mention this Demon Slayer character, but I don't want to. It would involve some major spoilers, and some of you probably don't give a dang. But to me, it's like it's really important to me. But the point is that they're just like doing. There's this shot where they're like fucking holding a sword, and like it shows like all their individual movements with it, like just from like because they're sheathing it, so it shows them like kind of going. And they're going like this, and it's like a whole like sequence, and they're like all these individual shots from it. And if you know what I'm talking about, that's awesome. And it really just like made me think, just like, man, like this character is like really moving with purpose with like every single little thing that they're doing. And it really stuck with me, even though he was just putting away his fucking sword, but it was just like all the individual movements. And I feel like there's moments where I have to stop, and if I'm doing something, it could be fucking anything. It could be making food, it could be opening the door or whatever. But if I just stop and think like, yo, I'm really doing this. I'm really moving right now. And I'm like very hyper aware that I'm existing. I feel like that kind of makes me just like appreciate shit more. So I'm gonna leave it at that, man. If you're ever just like in that weird like autopilot mode, just really think about what you're doing, even if it's fucking regular, And I feel like I just feel better about whatever I'm doing if I'm really thinking about it, because it's it could be really easy to just like start droning through life and just not knowing what the fuck is going on, because no one knows what the fuck is going on. I certainly don't. I'm just out here just shooting the shit, man. And yeah, appreciate y'all if y'all listen to this. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. But anyway, God bless you. Thank you.